Why inflation is slowly killing your spending power. Let's be honest, your money is losing power every single day. That coffee you grabbed this morning, it's going to cost more next year, and even more the year after that. That car you've been saving for, the price tag just keeps creeping up. There's an invisible force silently eating away at your savings, your plans, and your financial security. It's called inflation, and it's the biggest threat to your wealth that most people just don't fully get. But what if you could not only understand it, but actually fight back? Stick with me because we're going to break down what inflation really is, expose what's causing your costs to go up, and most importantly, show you exactly what to do to protect your financial future. This isn't just an economics lesson, it's a survival guide for your wallet. So, what is inflation? Put simply, inflation is the rate at which prices for almost everything go up. And when prices go up, the purchasing power of your money goes down. The dollar in your pocket today will not buy as much tomorrow as it did yesterday. Here's a simple way to think about it. Imagine a tiny village with just 10 people and only 100 gold coins in the whole economy. A local farmer is selling 10 chickens. Simple math tells you one chicken costs 10 gold coins. Now what if someone digs up a treasure chest and doubles the money in the village? Suddenly, there are 200 gold coins floating around but still only 10 chickens. With way more money chasing the exact same number of chickens, what happens to the price? It skyrockets. Now, one chicken costs 20 gold coins. The chickens didn't get bigger or tastier, the money just got weaker. That's inflation in a nutshell, and it's exactly what's happening to your money on a global scale. Every time you hear about the Consumer Price Index or CPI going up, that's just a measure of how much more expensive that basket of goods, like our chickens, has become. Now, a little bit of inflation isn't necessarily a bad thing. Policymakers at the Federal Reserve actually aim for about 2% over the long run, believing it's a sign of a healthy, growing economy. The problem is when it gets out of control. That's when inflation stops being a gentle breeze and starts turning into a financial hurricane that can wipe out your savings. So why does inflation happen? To protect yourself, you've got to understand the enemy. Inflation isn't just bad luck, it's caused by real economic pressures that usually fall into three buckets. First, you've got demand-pull inflation. This is the classic too much money chasing too few goods scenario from our village. When everyone's spending like there's no tomorrow, demand for stuff outpaces what factories can actually produce. Think about the wild demand for cars and houses right after the pandemic lockdowns. Supply chains were a mess, factories couldn't keep up, and boom, prices for vehicles went through the roof. That's demand pull in action. Second, there's cost push inflation. This happens when it just gets more expensive to make things. If oil, raw materials, or labor costs shoot up, companies have to spend more. And guess who they pass those extra costs on to? You, the consumer. We saw this with the huge spike in energy prices and shipping costs. When the price of oil doubles, the price of everything from your cereal to the gas in your car goes right up with it. The third, and maybe the most controversial, is the expansion of the money supply. When central banks create huge amounts of new money and pump it into the system, they're essentially watering down the value of the money already out there. Just like finding that treasure chest in our village, if you suddenly have way more dollars but no new stuff to buy, each one of those dollars is worth less. This is a powerful long-term driver of inflation. Often these three forces team up, creating a perfect storm that just pushes prices higher and higher. Now let's discuss how inflation is silently robbing you. The effects of inflation aren't just numbers on a screen, they hit you right where it hurts, your wallet. First, and most obviously, your purchasing power vanishes. The money you worked so hard for just buys less. That $100 bill might look the same, but it doesn't stretch as far at the grocery store or the gas station as it did a few years ago. This is especially brutal for people on fixed incomes like retirees whose paychecks don't go up with prices. Second, inflation is a direct attack on your savings. If your money is just sitting in a standard bank account earning next to nothing, while inflation is running at 2.7%, you are losing purchasing power every single year. Even if you've moved your cash to a high-yield savings account earning a solid 4% or more, you're barely treading water after inflation. Your savings are literally melting away like an ice cube on a hot day. You're playing a game you're guaranteed to lose unless you change the rules. Third, your cost of living goes up across the board. Rent, food, healthcare, they all get more expensive, putting a serious strain on your budget and forcing tough choices. And fourth, it often leads to higher borrowing costs. To fight inflation, central banks raise interest rates. That makes mortgages, car loans, and credit card debt more expensive. It's a necessary evil to cool down the economy, but it adds another layer of financial pressure on everyone. All this creates a cloud of economic uncertainty that makes it incredibly hard to plan for the future. How can you save for a house when you have no idea what it will cost in 2 years? How do you plan for retirement when your future expenses are a giant question mark? Here's how you fight against inflation and protect your money. You are not powerless in the fight against inflation. You can't control the Fed, but you can absolutely control your own financial strategy. Here are 5 things you can do to build your defenses, starting today. 1. Put your money to work. Seriously, the single worst thing you can do right now is hoard cash. You have to put your money into assets that can grow faster than inflation. For most people, that means investing. A diversified portfolio of stocks has historically been a great way to beat inflation over the long haul. When you own a piece of a business, and that business raises its prices, its profits can grow, and so can the value of your shares. Real estate is another classic hedge, since property values and rent tend to rise with everything else. 2. Get smart with your savings. For the cash you need to keep handy, like an emergency fund, get it out of a regular savings account that pays practically nothing. Hunt down a high-yield savings account or a money market account. Some are currently offering rates over 4%. They won't make you rich, but they will drastically slow down how much purchasing power you're losing. 3. Master your budget. When everything costs more, a budget isn't just a good idea, it's non-negotiable. Track your spending. Get crystal clear on your needs versus your wants. This isn't about depriving yourself, it's about being intentional so you can free up more cash to save and invest. 4. Boost your income. One of the most direct ways to beat a rising cost of living is to make more money. Now is the time to ask for that raise, armed with data about your value and the rising cost of everything. It might also be the time to look for a higher-paying job or develop skills that are in high demand. A side hustle isn't just a buzzword anymore, it's a powerful tool for creating an extra income stream. 5. Attack your debt. If you have high-interest, variable-rate debt like credit card balances, inflation is your mortal enemy. As interest rates rise to fight inflation, the rates on your debt will likely go up too. Make it a top priority to pay down these debts as fast as you can. It's one of the best guaranteed returns you can get. Okay, let's sum everything up. Inflation can feel like this big, scary, unstoppable force, working 24/7 to make your money worth less. But understanding how it works is the first and most important step to beating it. Just remember the game plan. Inflation eats away at your buying power, driven by demand, costs, and the money supply. But you are not a victim here. By investing your money, optimizing your savings, controlling your spending, growing your income, and crushing your debt, you can build a financial fortress that doesn't just survive inflation, it can actually thrive. The power is in your hands. Don't let your future be dictated by forces you can't control. Take action, stay informed, and turn this challenge into your next big opportunity. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, do me a favor and subscribe to my channel to receive more tips on building your financial future. How has inflation impacted your life? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video.